Greetings and welcome, family. Thanks for stopping by for another episode of Road Trip JA, the heartbeat of Jamaica's roads. To navigate you through the experience is Dr. A, your excursion extraordinaire and guide. Today we'll be covering some news articles dated in 2021 concerning the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. News articles like NWA halts work on section of the Southern Coastal Highway due to extortion. Really? Highway projects resume after extortion threats. Effective negotiation. 17.4 billion set aside for the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. Wow. Work to continue on the Southern Coastal Highway Project. Highway project strikes fear in the hearts of Grandspan. These and so much more. If this is information that you're interested in experiencing, stick around. We'll be right back. Thanks for choosing to stay for the experience now that we are all here. If you have not yet subscribed to Road Trip JA, please feel free to do so and ensure you turn your notification on to all so you will be notified on every occasion of release without exception. If our conversation added any value or even a new perspective, please indicate by turning the like button blue. To have a conversation with us, you may do so in the VIP section, the comments. And don't forget to share so others can become a part of the family. For added information and reference material, visit the description below. It is now that time again. It is time to get active. We are finally in the year 2021. Our first article in our sequential article flow is number 23, captioned NWA halts work on section of the Southern Coastal Highway due to extortion. And this article comes to us from the Jamaica Observer dated February 10, 2021. So we're seeing that as the work started, it had to be halted. The article reads to us that Kingston, Jamaica National Workers Agency has halted activity on section of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project SCHIP, which is being implemented in the St. Andrew, St. Thomas and Portland. The agency said that the decision was taken to suspend work along the Georgia to Cedar Valley leg of the project on the weekend, following threats received from what appeared to be extortionists who are demanding bi-weekly advancements if the project is to continue. It said that demands were made by way of handwritten letter, neither the source or the author of which were declared. The NWA said that the work site was closed even while critical wall construction and revetment protection workers were in progress along the badly deteriorated roadway. The matter was reported to the police, who are carrying out an investigation. The NWA said the agency noted that the works to be completed along the 15 kilometers Georgia to Cedar Valley contact package is very valuable. It explains that the roadway is earmarked for extensive reconstruction and improvement, including a new pavement, the upgrading of existing drainage features, and the construction of new ones, including culvert, the installation of shoulders in more rural areas, and new curbs and gutter and sidewalks in built-up areas. The practice of extortion is a bad practice that has been allowed to manifest itself based on the political divide in Jamaica. If we can remember, in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even in the 90s, extortionism was very rampant in Jamaica. As remember, corruption doesn't start from the bottom up, it starts from the top and comes down. So we can understand why we are seeing the emergence of extortion taking place, because it was a practice that was facilitated by the previous governance of this country. These tactics were used to win elections, to control communities, for distribution of certain paraphernalias, etc. But in relation to the work, it is just quite sad that extortion had to show its ugly head in a situation where the community in which the work is being done is to be benefited. And as usual, it's not expected that the police will come to any conclusion where the investigation is concerned. But we do appreciate the police involvement to investigate after the fact. Let us see if the highway project will be resumed after this extortion scare. That takes us to our second article, article number 24. Under the caption, Highway Project Resumes After Extortion Threat. And this article is brought to us by Sharon Monteith on February 11, 2021, coming to us from The Gleaner. It says to us that work on the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project SCHIP resumed yesterday after 5-day suspension triggered by an extortion threat made last Friday. So after the threat, they stopped work for 5 days. It means that they were fearful, and we can understand why they would be fearful, because we already know what the extortion community can do, especially based on how the government in past eras have armed them adequately to be able to carry out the extortative practices. So these threats have to be taken seriously. And the article continues, the threat, which was made anonymously via a handwritten note, called for bi-weekly payments to be made if the project were to continue. It triggers a lockdown of operation even though critical wall construction and revetment protection workers were in progress along section of the badly deteriorated road. Work on the project, which is being carried out by the China Harbour Engineering Company, resumed yesterday following a meeting the security force had with the national work agencies and other stakeholders. One individual stated that it seems as though it was some loggerhead person just trying to create mischief. But remember that the opening service during the address of the official launch of the SCHIP in August of 2019, the Prime Minister Andrew Holness issued a stern warning against extortioners who have plagued other roadworks across the island. And this is public knowledge, and a lot of the extortionists were paid. So the statement the Prime Minister made was based on what had happened in the past and what he had expected. But I hope this does not recur. On February 24, 2021, we were presented with another article coming from the Jamaica Information Service by Elise Smith under the caption 17.4 billion set aside for Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. And the article reads to us that a sum of 17.4 billion has been allocated in the 2021-2022 estimate of expenditure to continue implementation of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project SCHIP. The project seeks to improve the alignment and the capacity of existing Southern Coastal main arterial road in order to make it safe and efficient, free from flooding, and provide for future development. The funds will be used to carry out Part A work under the project, which relates to the Maypen to Williamsville segment. This will include continuing and completing design, continuing road construction work, and achieving 65% completion, continuing land acquisition activities, and gaining access to 100% of necessary parcels along the Maypen to Williamsville road alignment, and continuing utility relocation and achieving 100% completion. For Part B of the work, Harbourview to Albion to Yallahs Bridge to Port Antonio, and Morant Bay to Cedar Valley, the allocation will be used to continue construction work of the Harbourview to Yallahs Bridge segment, achieving 60% completion, and mobilize and complete various other construction packages and achieve 65% to 100% completion. Up to December 2020, under the project design for the Maypen to the Williamsville section was 90% complete. The Harbourview to Albion to Yallahs Bridge segment was 10% complete. The Yallahs Bridge to Port Antonio construction was 15% completed, and the Morant Bay to Cedar Valley construction was 40% completed. In addition, 5 of 15 construction for the Yallahs Bridge, Port Antonio, and Morant Bay to Cedar Valley segments were awarded. 5 of the 15 construction packages for Yallahs Bridge to Port Antonio and the Morant Bay to Cedar Valley section reached 16% completion. Other work done for the various segments includes completion of alignment survey and preliminary drone survey, completion of land acquisition sketch plans, plans and completion of any informal review of outlined design. We are once again reminded that the project is being implemented by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation with funding from the Exim Bank of China and the government of Jamaica. Following several extensions, the project, which began in January 2017, is slated to end in March 2022. But you know, and I know that March 2022 is a date that they have set, but will it be completed on that date? It may be highly unlikely. A better date to set would be for the year 2023 and not the year 2022. But let us see if they are able to play catch up. Reported from the Jamaica Information Service, date March 20, 2021, by Rochelle Williams, under the caption, "Work to continue on Southern Coastal Highway Project." And it says that the National Works Agency, NWA, will continue work on the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project SCHIP as the main capital road project for 2021 through 2022. This was disclosed by the Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, while making his contribution to the 2021-2022 budget debate in the House of Representatives on Tuesday, March 18, 2021. He said that during the year, work will commence on 5 additional contract packages valued at approximately $6.6 billion. These are the Yallis Bridge to Loudon Hill, Salt Pond, 6.72 kilometers, Loudon Hill, Salt Pond to Pamfret, 4.9 kilometers, Pamfret to Morant River Bridge, 9.55 kilometers, Boston area to Drapers, 7.44 kilometers, and Drapers to Port Antonio, which is 9.52 kilometers. To date, measured work valued at approximately $53 million US have been certified under the SCHIP. Pipelines and sewage installation work valued at some $29 million US will continue to be rolled out in tandem with road work, the Prime Minister said. He noted that SCHIP is expected to open up new areas for tourist development and improvement in traffic flow in several urban centers along the country's southern coastal arterial roadway. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister said that work will continue on improving the country's bridge infrastructure, noting that the focus for 2021-2022 is on completing the Mahogany Valley Bridge in St. Thomas, the Tribe River Bridge in St. Mary, and the Golden Valley Bridge in Portland. Construction on the Pennsfield Bridge in St. Andrew is also expected to commence alongside repairs to the other bridge, he noted. Work on the Baraska River Bridge in St. Mary, Liganil Avenue Bridge in St. Andrew, and Riverton City Bridge in Kingston are expected to be in Kingston were completed in 2020-2021. With all the saga that has been taking place, from extortion threats, work halting, work resuming, money being allocated for the Southern Coastal Highway project, should anyone have any fear of this project? Well, our article number 27, coming from the Gleaner, dated April 19, 2021, states that the highway project strikes fear in the heart of Grandspen. This is saying to us that the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement SCHIP is being touted as a key to the economic development of St. Thomas, but residents in Grandspen fear it is likely to push their quiet seaside community into oblivion. The first phase of SCHIP will rehabilitate approximately 110 kilometers of the roadway between Harborview in St. Andrew and Port Antonio in Portland, and 26 kilometers thoroughfare from Morant Bay to Cedar Valley in St. Thomas. Grandspen, which is situated along the stretch leading from Harborview Bridge to Yallis Bridge, currently has approximately an estimate of 3,000 residents situated near the sea. Several residents have been making a living from either fishing or selling seafood. The government has allotted $17.4 billion in the 2021-2022 estimate of expenditure towards implementation of the project, which is expected to be completed by March 2022. The construction of the highway will mean the residents might have to venture further to get access to public transportation, but even more worrying for those living in Grandspen is the likelihood that traffic will be rerouted, which is true. They said said when the highway built, our community is going to become a back road, which is true, because the vehicles are going to travel on the side mostly, or the newly developed road, said David Bowen, indicating the hilly terrain in the distance. Prior to CV, the popular Sizzler Beach was abuzz with activity. Visitors would pass the jumble and zinc and board and concrete building at the front to venture inward, where they would be greeted by blue seas. And based on the road design and the road networking, we realized that the Ranspen community will be slightly circumvented, and that circumvention may impact in a negative manner their livelihood for the selling of fish and for the attraction to the area, as it will now become out of sight, which means inevitably it will eventually become out of mind, excepting in cases where people are intentional about finding the location. Other economic implications may occur. However, we will have to re-examine that community in more detail. This is where we have to put a pause on our news recap and review of the developments concerning the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project. The saga will continue, and there are more revelations and changes that are to come that you may not have known occurred. However, here at Road Trip JA, the heartbeat of Jamaica's roads, it is our duty to keep you in the know. Until next time, when we will continue the discovery of information concerning the publication of 2021 articles that surrounds the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, with intentions to move forward in the process of prediction for the future. You don't want to miss it. But for now, walk, drive, and fly good. This is Dr. A, your excursion extraordinaire, signing out from Road Trip JA. Peace, love, respect,